never go back on my word. That's my ninja way.
Man, you too can become a hero. I will to destroy my
Sorry about that. What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and today I'm doing a what if. Well, I really need to stop saying I'm going to do a what if, because well, you guys already know, because if I do a video, that's I'm not really the smartest person out here, but I wanted to do something special. I don't know how this is gonna work. There's only a couple of seasons of this show. I'm going to do a what if Naofumi, a Naofumi what if. Now, I actually figured out what I'm going to do for the what if Deku had, well, alter ego, and hopefully it will be better than, well, most of the what ifs that I've been producing up to this point. I'm still very sick, and today I gotta go to work, so I'm really gonna be tired for tomorrow, so I won't be able to do a what if tomorrow, but hopefully you guys like it. Interesting fact right now, during this whole idea of this what if, well, you all know the great famous Diomedes Rouge. He's actually the one who helped me make this one. I mean, he's not gonna voice act any of this or anything, but he helped me with the idea, and well, he's really a good guy. So hopefully, if any of you guys watch any of his stuff, just go watch it. You're not gonna regret it. He's really good, and he's passionate about his what ifs. And also, there might be a what if me, Lasto, and Diomedes Rouge. What if we were in the Shield Hero universe? So hopefully that happens. And I might do, well, what if Deku was a Revenant? So hopefully, I'm pretty much doing a lot of things right now, and I'm still super sick still. I didn't think I'd be that sick, but hopefully you guys like it, and here we go. Give me a second here. Alright, so his name is Naofumi Iwatani. A man who, well, was a part of an organization, well, technically the son of a rich man who he loved so dearly. He had 2 brothers and a sister. His mother, a sickly woman, loved him so much. Naofumi was the creme de la creme. He was a rich kid in this universe. He really loved doing things with other people. He was so happy and so kind. That all changed one day when the family became bankrupt. The father, wondering how this could have happened, had to pretty much sell a lot of his stuff and, well, had to pay different things over the past 5 years. Naofumi was 15, then he turned 20. He wanted to just do things his own way. After this whole thing happened, he lost his mother due to an illness that she couldn't get, treatment for. After all, they didn't have any more money, and Naofumi was truly sad. He had to live off of different things. He even had his own room that was as big as a house. Well, not a house, but as big as a living room. But now he's in a tiny apartment with his family. Not even eating good food like they did back when. Just eating instant ramen, and sometimes, if they're lucky, some pork belly meat. Naofumi didn't understand what had happened, but he made the worst mistake, or the best mistake, depending on how you guys see it. He decided that he would pray to God. And he prayed so many times, wishing that they had their old life back, saying that it's not fair, saying that none of this should have happened. And Naofumi was very sad. But that all changed one day when he hated to just pray to God. He decided to pray to something down below. And somebody did answer him. His name was Mephisto. We all know who he is. Mephisto looked at Naofumi and told him, "Why did you summon me?" Knowing full well why he was summoned. Naofumi explains everything, telling him that he wants his old life back. He wished that his father was rich again, that they would always be happy. And this is when Naofumi makes a deal with the devil himself, saying, "I'm willing to do anything for that life again." And the old man, known as Mephisto, says, "Alright, but you have to sign right here." And Naofumi did, signing in the cursive writing that he had learned far long time ago. And this is when Mephisto tells him that he has a deal. Now, they actually arrested most of the, pretty much most of the people who were involved in the, demotion of Naofumi's life. Pretty much the people who were scheming on the inside, taking away money and kicking out his father, the owner of the company. Naofumi's life was changing yet again. He had about a good 5 months, and his father never took this life that he had for granted. But he always kept telling him to always have a smile on his face. Naofumi started to do that. He knew what he did was bad. And he knows that he probably won't ever see his family again after his death. But he said, "Why not? It doesn't affect me anymore." But that doesn't mean he's gonna be, the same. You see, his father died, and so does his sister and his 2 brothers. All of a sudden, they perished due to a quote-unquote car accident. Naofumi was horrified on what happened. He said, "Why? Why did this happen?" And, Naofumi actually was wondering what had happened. And he saw the news on how this whole thing went on. Basically, somebody just crashed headfirst into the car and pretty much shot the father, but left the kids inside, as the inside of the car was about to burst and it exploded in the flames. Naofumi wondered who this guy was, and found out that it was one of his father's partners, who actually organized the downfall of his father. Technically, he was bankrupt because of that guy. Naofumi wasn't going to just let this guy get away with it. He tracked him and pulled a gun on him, shooting him in the head, and then after that, shooting him so many times. Then one of the guy's other legal partners, if you guys don't understand, basically, I think when the CEO has multiple business partners, they tend to always work together. So let's see. Let's say there was two more people. And Naofumi saw them. And as they were about to run away, Naofumi shot one in the back and then shot one in the leg. They couldn't run. The guy actually had a bullet in his spine, meaning the guy is paralyzed from the waist down. And the guy basically got shot in the bone, and now pretty much that's broken. All the ligaments and all the veins, everything got kind of torn up when he got shot. So the guy's pretty much gonna be kind of stump-legged. But Naofumi didn't care. As he found out that he had no more bullets, a police car actually witnessed what had happened, pulled a gun on Naofumi, and was he arrested him. Naofumi saying that he did what he had to because of what they did to his father. But there is a legal team, and this time it's not going for Naofumi. It's actually going for the partners, who, well, I guess they got a really good business deal with these lawyers. I guess promising, some shares of the company and all that stuff. You know, shady stuff. Naofumi was so upset. He said he did it because of what happened to his father, that one of the business partners actually killed them, and he shot him in the head, and actually shot the other two people because of what they done to his father. But because the justice system at times is crooked, Naofumi just goes to jail. But he always kept remembering his father's words, just to always smile in the face of adversity. So he kept doing that. He'd done it so much that people suspected him of actually just doing it for shits and giggles. When they saw Naofumi smiling, they didn't know what was going through his head, but they decided that he was the bad guy all along. Oh, everybody didn't see Naofumi doing right. They all just pretty much saw him doing wrong. And Naofumi was sad because nobody believed him. And Naofumi actually just gets upset even more, saying that they deserved it. And they all called him crazy. But since he was old enough, he gets to go to prison forever for pretty much the murder of one person, and more years because of what he's done to the other two. And like I said, cruel justice system. So those two, Naofumi goes to prison, and he stays there for a good 2 years. And right when he was there, Mephisto comes in after seeing Naofumi getting beat up so much, seeing him in pain. Naofumi said, why? Why did he do this? Why did he let his father die? Mephisto saying he had no way of seeing this happening. All he knew was that Naofumi wanted to be rich again, to go back through that life. So, by going back through that life, the father gets to see the people that screwed him up, who basically made him bankrupt, go to jail. But most of the people who didn't like his father decide to go get revenge, because people are just weird that way. And it's not even his fault that people decided to go and kill his father out of anger. This all happened because of you, Naofumi. You decided to go and call me. You decided to go get rich again. You could have probably been so tired of this life and just lived it bored, friendless, and pretty much almost close to being homeless. But you decided to put your family and yourself on Easy Street again. Because you decided to make a deal with me. But now I have to, well, come for my toll again. And this is when he basically turns him into the rider, saying that I'll need you again. Or this is when you get, I don't know how he would say it, but he would say something among the lines of, now you work for me, turning Naofumi into the Ghost Rider, causing his whole body to burn, causing him to hate this pain. And this is when Naofumi actually breaks out of prison. Nobody knew who Mephisto was. All they know was that Naofumi turned into this fire, this skeleton-like person. And believe me, this guy will come soon enough. And another person that we all know. But if you can imagine it, think of the Ghost Rider in a jumpsuit. Pretty much a prison suit. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I'd want to kind of rock that. I mean, I would like to see just like, that looks like clothing that I would want to wear. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm bringing it up, but, you know, just to, you know, for shits and giggles. Sorry about that. So, Naofumi basically is on the run. But at the same time, he's also, well, killing demons. And how you say? Well, I'm so glad he hypothetically asked. Naofumi, after becoming the rider, stole, well, a moped. And then after that, decided that the moped was kind of weird. So he stole a car. And he started riding. And with the whole, with him riding and all that stuff, he pretty much just killed bad guys. He's taking down robbers. He's taking down gang members, people like the Yakuza, even super corrupted government officials. He even took down the people who basically made his life a living hell. But Naofumi wasn't done, because his life was gonna go even more off for the possible better. Naofumi decided to just wander alone. He became, well, a fugitive, and people have seen him before, and they were terrified, calling him a monster, the devil. But Naofumi was just a young boy. 22, but at the same time, he was just a young man who decided to basically get vengeance on his for his family's sake. He always wondered, while being by himself, what is his family doing? Always wondering, looking up in the sky, saying, are they always going to be watching him? Do they see that he's become this monster? Two people walk by him, telling him that their family's probably watching over him and loving him. And this is when Naofumi sees who's behind him. An old man with, well, what you see right here. But if it wasn't actually torn up and all that stuff. His name was Slade. Carter Slade. And he introduced himself, saying, young man, I understand that you're upset, and I understand that right now you're looking at me with fear. But just know, I'm here for you. And another man looks at him, but he's wearing just a black attire. Basically a suit. Not a suit. He's wearing black jeans, a leather jacket, and pretty much that's it. And some shoes, you know, because, well, be kind of weird seeing somebody just walking around town with no shoes. But I'm getting off topic here. He says, "Who are you?" And the guy introduces himself as Johnny Blaze, saying, "I know that you're scared. And believe me, this isn't my first time seeing this." And Naofumi says, "Are you two American?" And he says, "Yes, we are. But we can travel anywhere we want to." And this is when they pretty much show their rider forms. And Naofumi is just scared, saying, Who are you two?" And Carter says, "We were like you before, until we died." And basically Carter explains to him he's, a rider from back when, cowboys were a thing. And Johnny was actually somebody who he looked after for a while. Johnny and Carter explained everything, saying that there's a man named Mephisto. And when they heard that, Naofumi looked at him saying, "Who is he?" And this is when they explain about a high-ranking devil basically does bad things, makes riders, uses them, and pretty much does whatever he wants. Typical bad guy. And this is when Naofumi says, "I don't want to be this anymore. I just want to be a regular person." Well, this is when Johnny says, "I'm sorry, but we can't do anything about that. This is who you are from now on." And this is when Naofumi says, No, this can't be possible. I just want to go home. I just want to see my family again. I know they're up there, but I don't want to be this. I just wanted my old life." And this is when they say, "We know what happened to you. We could see through your mind." And this is when Naofumi says, "You can see through my mind." And this is when Carter says, "The Ghost Riders, or the Riders as we usually call ourselves, we're all kind of linked together." And Naofumi says, "So in the end, I'm not going to see my family?" He says, "No, but we can pretty much teach you how to use your powers for your own sake. Even letting you just, get out of the clutches of Mephisto." These technically three, ride off and actually get a bunch of riders to try to stop Mephisto from controlling Naofumi. And with basically a big fight, I wouldn't know how this would work, but knowing that the riders can use Hellfire and their powers, they pretty much leave it up to their imaginations. Naofumi helping out and actually basically defeating Mephisto and stripping him away from whatever he does, technically taking away everything that they are. Carter says, we have good news and bad news. The good news is that we stopped Mephisto. The bad news is there would have been a possibility to actually use his powers to reverse this. But knowing that he doesn't want to be trapped by the creations that he made, he kind of ended himself. Naofumi being upset about it, but saying that no, he can no longer do that to anyone else. Carter says, "Look at you getting all grown up. and basically saying that I'm going to be your spirit of vengeance. When you need me, I'll be there. I'll help you every step of the way as I can. Back then I used to be a bad person. And, well, it was technically somebody who talked to me a bit. His name was Johnny Blaze. He's back in hell. Well, not hell per se, but a section where we only can be at. He helped me out a bit by making me remember who I was. Now, in this one, the writer, basically, I'm going to make it to where Carter Slade was kind of bettering himself after meeting Johnny Blaze, and just basically making him remember that, he's technically changed and he's asked for forgiveness, but wherever he's at, just know that he decided to help out people. That's pretty much it. I wanted to make an angel or a devil decide to become like Naofumi's spirit of vengeance. But I decided to go with the old cowboy. And, I kind of have I like Sam Elliott. If you don't know who he is, he was the Ghost Rider from back then. So, the Ghost Rider in the Ghost Rider movie. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But back to the story at hand. Naofumi actually tells him that he's forever grateful. And Slade says, well, we gotta get out of here. But then again, Naofumi did, get somewhere, because he doesn't know where he's at. While using his teleportation to go to Earth, it doesn't become Earth. It's actually another place. Naofumi's saying what the heck is happening, and Carter says he doesn't know what's going on. But this is when Naofumi is actually teleported with 3 other people. And Naofumi is like, where the heck am I at? And Naofumi is just saying, who are you guys? And Carter's saying, what's happening? I can't move. I feel trapped. And Naofumi trying to enter his mindscape and trying to talk to him, but it's almost as if it's almost cut. It's as if whatever is happening is just hanging on by a thread. And Naofumi is wearing this weird getup and saying, what is this? He's looking at himself, and he actually has, Carter Slade's outfit on. And he has his lasso. He even has his shotgun, but the moment he touches it, it pretty much breaks and explodes, causing Naofumi to actually just be in pain, saying, what's going on? My body's in pain. And nobody knows what's happening. And this is when, once one of the people is done with their chants, Naofumi just returns back to normal, saying that that's kind of weird. But then he tries to he tries to rub his head, or tries to wipe the sweat off of him, but then he hits himself, saying, ouch, what the heck? And he looks at his arm, saying, I have a shield? This is not weird at all. And this is when Ren and Itsuki basically say, where are we at? Moriyasu saying that, I don't know, but something's kind of wrong. Naofumi trying to contact Carter, saying, I wonder what's going on. This is not right. Something must have happened. And, well, I have something for you guys. A reason why Naofumi is there. You see, during the fall of Mephisto, he decided to basically teleport Naofumi somewhere else. A place that he hasn't ever been to. And with that, technically somebody else was going to be the shield hero. It was going to be a random person, but, you know, he was going to have the same life as Naofumi, but, well, Naofumi just got teleported in their stead. Now Naofumi doesn't know where he's at. They actually all go to the king, and the king basically says, well, there's the sword, there's the spear, the bow, looking at the shield and saying, and the shield. Give me a second here, people. Sorry about that. All this congestion is hurting my head right now. But anyway, they actually they actually pick their teams. They actually get their money, and Naofumi gets a little bit more, just like in canon. And he isn't going to like what happens. While Naofumi was actually depressed, he actually went to go get drinks. Mind wanting to grab a drink with him, Naofumi saying no, because he likes drinking alone. Mind doesn't like that, so she decided to... Well, she doesn't like Naofumi either way. But Naofumi actually can use his lasso, which is actually a good thing. And while being in hell, well, in the writer space, time, continuum, whatever their little universe is at, Carter did teach him a lot of tricks, and so did Johnny. They actually taught him different kinds of combat styles that he can use. While he's in his rider form, he can use his, well, he can use his chain or whip or whatever he uses. He was supposed to be wielding a shotgun / lasso or a chain, depending on how Naofumi uses things. And his signature weapon was going to be an axe, but, well, he didn't have his axe at that time. It's somewhere in hell, or somewhere where the riders are at. And not only that, he can't use a shotgun because it exploded, and because it's considered a weapon. Naofumi explains who he is, and explains a bit of his life, saying that basically he was convicted for a crime he did not commit. But that's pretty much what happened during that time. After that time, Naofumi gets set up again. Naofumi actually was about to get arrested, but because Naofumi has such a very high affinity for fire, Naofumi actually kind of protected himself by using the shield. And he was wondering, what's so good about this thing? All it does is, well, just block. And because he was about to get arrested, he didn't have any fighting capabilities. So he used his lasso as a, how should I say it? Kind of as a gauntlet, but he just wrapped it around his arm, so all he just did was punch. And he can use his lasso still. Sorry about that. Naofumi gets, well, banished. Not banished, but he gets his reputation destroyed by being known as a rapist / criminal. And pretty much, I forgot his name, Ironheart, or Aaronhart, something. I forgot his name, but he basically helps the Shield out, and Naofumi is grateful for that, telling him that he'll pay him back soon. Naofumi actually has his getup, but it's actually better now because the front part has plated armor, and his arms have bracers on them as well. His hat is more of a... well, his hat's just his hat. But he's actually learned how to level up a couple of times. Leveling up to level 5 in a day. Because he never actually trained during, in the beginning. He pretty much just wandered around. He was actually wondering everything. He was looking for just different things. But when night falls, they try to, not they as in the king and Melty? No, not Melty, that's mine. Mine and Melty didn't actually, no, wait. Mine and the king didn't do nothing. It was actually a couple of people who were trying to get Naofumi to be joined, or to try to get Naofumi's money. Naofumi actually killed them because they were going to kill Naofumi. Naofumi actually used one of his newest moves. Well, Meteor Bash. Basically, he runs at top speed and pretty much has a fire infinity. It starts to burn and looks like a meteorite. It was gonna be called... No. You know what? I'm gonna just call it the Fire Bash. He fire bashes these guys, basically burning them and, well, cracking one of their guys' skulls. And Naofumi saw that the other guy was gonna hurt him, so he basically used the lasso and grabs him, pulls him towards him. Then the lasso, for some reason, just returns very fast into his arm, and he just gives the greatest uppercut ever, actually breaking the guy's neck. Naofumi's wondering why. Why are people not, listening to him? People have been, at the time, hating Naofumi so much that they don't listen to reason. They pretty much just try to use Naofumi and try to belittle him. But Naofumi says that it doesn't matter. In the end, people are gonna hate him. And it's just like everything is falling back to place again. He gets so upset, but he realizes something. He can't use his Ghost Rider form. No matter how many times he's tried, it's not there. And while that's happening, we get to actually go back to Carter. Carter is actually wondering how is he not turning into the Rider. He needs to use him in order to fight these creatures. And as long as Naofumi keeps up whatever he's doing, he'll be okay, but he feels weird. I mean, he doesn't understand, but he's used his Ghost Rider form to fight so many times that he kind of gotten used to it. But seeing Naofumi having to fight on his lonesome, he feels like it's like going to armor. I mean, going to war without any body armor. Or going out of the house just naked. He feels pathetic in a way because of that. But he's trying to still reawaken that power, but he sees like walls all over the room he's at, and it's just a bunch of shields just blocking him. Even being in the Rider form, it's almost as if it's just blocking that. And Carter's just having a hard time just, getting out of there. now that we go back to Naofumi, Naofumi does get offered some slaves after going towards this one old man. Not old, but he is old. He goes and talks to this one man who tells him that he can give him any slave that he wants. Naofumi is wondering if that's a good idea, but knowing that he's not going to have any partners, he might as well. And while looking around, he does see a girl with raccoon ears. As we all know, this is Raphtalia. And Naofumi is just enchanted because he's never seen a demi-human before. But he sees that she's sick, and Naofumi wants to help her. So, as in canon, he buys her and uses the slave crust, but he pretty much just tells her that he's gonna try to help her out. Raphtalia is scared of Naofumi because he possesses this truly terrifying aura, and it's almost like if she tries to touch him, she'll burn. And Naofumi sees that she's scared of him. So this is when he starts trying to go in the bushes, tries to grab a couple of leaves, a couple of rocks, a couple of sticks, and a whole lot of freaking love, or luck as he calls it, and makes her a bunny. Not a real bunny, but he makes a makeshift bunny toy for her. Raphtalia is actually kind of happy that, he's not mean. She doesn't trust him. But over the past couple of days, she actually sees that there's a good side to Naofumi. That Naofumi isn't as evil as she has thought. And, well, Naofumi decides to basically help her out, and with her leveling up, as Naofumi shows her how to fight, and also how to use a sword, even though he really can't do anything to help her out with that. She actually is better at what she's doing. She's actually training and, well, getting stronger. Naofumi sees that, but then a week goes by, and he just sees Raphtalia just turning into an adult, and he's like, what the heck is this? Where's the cute little fluff ball? How come she has Opie? And, well, Ironheart or Lockhart or something like that. I forgot his name, to be honest, and yeah, I'm sorry about that, but he basically explains everything about demi-humans and stuff. And, well, he actually gets to show him that he was once actually something powerful, but she really can't do anything to help him out. And they actually there's a wave, so Naofumi actually gets excited for this, because he actually gets to level up. And with his abilities, he actually can, well, what's the word? Get better at this? Get some experience? He's thinking to himself, he's killed off technically an old demon war general, high-class demon. So a bunch of scary monsters wouldn't be that hard. But the thing is, he doesn't have his rider form, so everything is weird to him. He's actually felt so weak before. Or not, he hasn't felt so weak before, but he feels like everything is harder. He wants to use his rider form, but he decides to try to get used to being himself. And by killing a bunch of creatures at Loot Village, I think he goes to Loot Village and protects them all from these creatures. And while defending them, he starts learning how to use his Hellfire. And sure, he doesn't have all of it. He still knows how to use it. So with his fire affinity and his new kind of shield, known as the Hell Shield, he pretty much learns how to use this new move on multiple creatures, and it's called Fire Nado. And as you guys probably are guessing it, Fire Nado is an attack that basically uses Hellfire, or just fire in general, make it go spin, spin, spin so fast that it turns into a tornado-like move, and now he can pretty much summon a tornado made out of fire. And pretty much he's not gonna be he gets 2 level ups, and he doesn't actually understand why, but he has this one called the balloon shield. Right now, he hasn't actually played games in so long that a basic RPG is considered like new territory for him. So if any of you guys are wondering how come he's just not leveling up the way he does in the anime, it's because after being the Ghost Rider for so long and, well, being in jail and making a deal with, a devil, he's not, as you could say, ready for all of this. But he does go collect his reward. And pretty much, they see Naofumi with the slave. And people are trying to, speculate, oh, he likes, doing things to his slaves. And Naofumi tells him to back off. Motoyasu telling him that having a slave girl is bad, and Naofumi actually is telling him that as far as he knows, slaves are actually legal. And Mind says that you're such a despicable shield hero, and it's kind of obvious that the devil of the shield has to have slaves. But Naofumi actually laughs, saying the devil of the shield. And Motoyasu says that's not something to be laughing about. He shouldn't take pride in being called the devil of the shield. He realizes that something is not right. And he realizes that they must have been plotting this thing, plotting whatever they've done, plotting, Naofumi's, I forgot. Basically making Naofumi the bad guy because they think he's like a devil or something like that. Naofumi's saying that I fought demons before. I fought a literal devil, a literal high-class devil with me and other people. The fact that they call him a devil when technically he's like a savior where he's at. Motoyasu saying, what does he mean? Naofumi actually tells him that his name is Naofumi Slade. He developed the last name after being so grateful to Carter Slade. He says that back then his name was Naofumi Iwatani, saying that back he was a rich kid, he was one of the richest kids out there, and that his father basically was, a rich man, saying everything that had happened. And they are scared. But now looking at Naofumi even more as like a threat, saying that he made a deal with the devil just to become rich again. And Naofumi said, this is when I was 15 at the time. And saying that, so you pretty much did this for your own selfish desires. Naofumi says, you're right, I did. And this is when Raftalia says he's not, he's not selfish and all. And this is when he says, Raftalia, I need you to listen to me. What I did was for my own benefits at the time. I was a dumb kid back then. I didn't know any better, and I was tricked. I loved my mother and my father and my siblings so much that I made a deal with the devil himself to try to get his family to go back to the way they were. At the time, his mother died, and he was so sad about that. He basically witnessed his mother dying on her deathbed because she was sick. Not only that, when they became rich again, everything was going back to the way it was. But then his family, the rest of his family members, died into a car crash that was actually an assassination attempt that actually went right. And ever since, he went to go get vengeance on them. And this is when he became the writer. He went to prison for basically murdering 3 people. One person, but he pretty much made the other 2 lives a living hell. Sorry if I'm kind of mumbling or kind of screwing up right now. That was kind of a weird tongue twister. He tells her that he did this all for them, only to be tricked and backstabbed by the man named Mephisto. And they all keep hearing this. Actually, the only person is the sword hero, and I think his name is Rem. Ren actually kind of sympathizes for Naofumi because even though what he did was bad, and even though he kind of sees him as a threat because of what he just said, Naofumi says that he is sad. He's never going to see his family again. And he became known as a ghostwriter. Somebody who can use his powers. He could turn into a flaming skull head. And the thing is that he turned into one after being in prison. This is when pretty much he explains even more stuff, saying that he started protecting the people by sending bad guys to hell. And this is when Moriyasu says, so in the end, you pretty much got your parents, you pretty much got your family killed. And Naofumi says, yes. And now I pay the price for that. As being who I am, I can never see my family. While they're up there, I am forever going to be down there. I am so sad and so tired of this. I can't believe you guys are all idiots. You guys look at me as if I am the devil, and yet I protect people with my shield. I wrangle them up with my whip or with my lasso, and I basically bring them to justice. But yet you guys look at me as the bad guy. Sorry about that. You guys see me as the bad guy, and yet none of you guys actually done a thing. What have you guys done in your worlds? Have any of you guys saved a family from a fire? Have any of you guys saved people from demons who try to infest people's lives, who try to kill them, who try to possess them into making stupid decisions? Have you ever fought off a literal high-class demon just because he screwed your life over? I've went through hell and back. I chose the last name as Slade, And as you guys remember, my name was Iwatani. I chose that last name in honor of a man that basically helped me out. A man who basically turned into the writer because of something he's done. And he deserves a second chance. So I think I deserve one too. Mine says that he's such a devil. And basically, Moriyasu says that I challenge you to a duel, and to use his rider form. Naofumi says, I can't use my rider form, but I can use my shield. And since you're a sword, since you have a spear and I have a shield, let us have a contest. And this is when Moriyasu says, really? I was about to say the exact same thing. And these two basically were about to fight when he realizes that Raphtalia was getting muzzled. This is when Naofumi grabs, lassos up one of the soldiers, and basically just throws him into a wall, saying that you're not gonna muzzle her. And this is when somebody tries to grab Naofumi, but Naofumi pretty much just pimp slaps one of the soldiers, and they're all trying to attack Naofumi. But the king says that he'll allow Naofumi's treachery to happen right now, but these two are going to have a battle. Naofumi says I wouldn't have it any other way. And these two do fight. Moriyasu's trying to attack him, but Naofumi actually starts putting up a fight by using his shields. He uses a couple of airstrike shields and a couple of lasso attacks, but Moriyasu is fast enough to dodge some of them. And when he tries to use his spear on, Naofumi actually starts using his own tricks. He starts using basically hell balloons with a little bit of fire, not necromancy. He uses a bit of fire and a bit of mind control and summoning balloons. Basically, these little creatures are way worse than whatever Naofumi saw in the anime. These things are even more crazier, and pretty much he puts him inside that I forgot what that was, but it was like a ball. It's like I forgot what it was, but he puts him inside of a ball, and then after that gets attacked so many times. Naofumi actually starts using his his basic fire shield, and pretty much starts beating up Moriyasu. Moriyasu and Naofumi keep fighting, but this is when Naofumi actually gets pushed with a wind attack, and this is when Moriyasu is going to try to beat him up, but everything seems like it stopped. Naofumi is getting basically he sees that Mind cheated, but nobody's calling her out on that. And Moriyasu is about to win, and he sees that Raphtalia is crying and trying to warn them, but one of the soldiers is basically grabbing her again, and pretty much Naofumi sees everything that's going on. Then he realizes that he has to defeat Moriyasu. And this is when he gets back up, actually sucker punching freaking Moriyasu in the face, and using his newest attack, the Fire Nado, and pushes back Moriyasu all the way back to the other side. And this is when Naofumi gets back up, and this is when he starts to feel that pain again. That one pain that he's felt for so long that he didn't feel anymore after being trained. And he starts smiling, saying that this is the power that people fear, and this is the power of a so-called devil. But he's no devil. He is the Ghost Rider himself. And he actually lives up to his name after his skin starts to burn. And Naofumi's actually gritting his teeth and smiling, saying, I felt like everything in my body was tearing. Everything in my body to the cellular level was changing, breaking me and molding me. I guess I have to feel this pain again. But this is when Carter Slade actually, Carter Slade is actually in Naofumi's mind telling him, well, having the final talk. Naofumi's in a room. Well, in a room that Naofumi knows. It's the inside of his kitchen. And basically he sees Slade sitting down, just crisscross, while Naofumi is, well, you know, I don't know how people in Japan sit. I know how they sit, but if you see how they sit, that's how Naofumi's sitting. And Naofumi's saying, where am I at? And this is when Carter says, you don't know, kid? This is the one place that you might have actually liked. And Naofumi sees that the kitchen. And this is when Slade says, everybody who's gone through this writer phase usually has their own little safe spot. A place where they remember everything being good. For me, it was back in my house when I used to do bad things. But then it changed into my little house with all the plants and a lot of graves. But for you, it's, I guess, this kitchen. Lovely attire here, though. The floor's looking all clean. It's not like my house. And this is when Naofumi says, what's going on? Why am I feeling this pain? Well, how come I'm in pain again? I thought I trained myself not to feel it anymore. This is when Carter says, well, every writer who's gone through their first beginning of the writer stage feels this pain. And Naofumi says, what do you mean? I felt this before. And he says, you became the writer in this world. So, no matter what, this is the world that basically made you a writer. In the other world, you became a writer. Over here, you're becoming a writer. And you're only as strong as your imagination, kid. As far as I can tell, you won't be able to use your shotgun. But he gives his lasso to Naofumi and he says, use this. I've seen you using the whip before as a gauntlet. But mine is special. I hope that you one day go back to us. And hopefully you tell us all the adventures you had, kid. And this is when Naofumi says, what are you talking about? You're technically my spirit of vengeance. And Carter says, not anymore. You see, after coming to this world, I found out what had happened. I was back in my other world. So I could never cross to this world. But because I did, I can only talk to you for this one time. And Naofumi says, but you helped me out. You treated me so kindly. How am I supposed to do this by myself? I don't know how to do this. Carter says, I told Johnny one time to stick to the shadows. But to you need to stick to the light. Just be that rider. I have faith in you. But the most important thing is you should have faith in yourself. And this time, instead of trying to go back to hell, he actually tells him what he told Johnny in the movie. Basically telling him that he wishes that God is going to give him a second chance, redoing all the wrongs that he's done in his life, hoping that he's forgiven. Naofumi tells him that he's going to be forgiven. He's going to be forgiven for everything. He just wished that Carter would have been there still. But this is when he gives him some more power and tells him that I have a lot of things that I saw in the shield. Hopefully this can help you out. And not only that, I put some power into the shield. I made it more mobile for you. You're gonna thank me for this, kid. And hopefully you find yourself a ride, because it feels kind of weird seeing you like this. Then after that, his horse comes by, and he gets on top of it, and he rides away. Back in the real world, Naofumi gets back up, and actually just feels all this heat on him, and well, he feels himself being his normal self. So this is when he grabs his lasso, and he sees that it's Carter's, and he basically throws it at Motoyasu. Motoyasu actually feels this lasso burning him, and he says, "What is this? And how come I'm feeling this pain?" Naofumi says, "I told you before, you shouldn't have messed with me. You kept calling me a devil. You kept calling me a monster. You all looked at me like I'm freaks." And this is when Motoyasu says, "What are you?" "I am the spirit of vengeance. My name is Naofumi Slade. I was a rich kid. Now I'm a writer. I hope one day you get to see the good things that I do in this world." And Motoyasu sees that this guy is powerful now, saying that how does he get this so much power? And this is when Mine actually shoots a strong version of a wind attack that she's used on Naofumi before. But Naofumi actually uses his whip and pretty much just starts making a fire tornado. And they're all looking as like, why is he using the lasso? And how come he's not using a shield? What kind of sorcery is this? And Naofumi says, anybody that hurts my friends, they're gonna have to go through me. And pretty much he just punches Motoyasu in the face, and he turns back into the same person that he was. And people saw that he won, but people are so scared of him that Naofumi just says that, whatever, I'm done with this game. I need to go now. I gotta get stronger for the next wave, this next wave. So, he gets Raftalia, and he actually just pretty much breaks a guy's ribs. Not a guy's ribs, but a guard's ribs. And he says that If you ever touch her again, I will use the penance stare on you. And I'll be damned if I see you without sins. You're pretty much reeking with them. You know what? Screw it. He grabs the crooked guard, and he pretty much stares at him, seeing everything that he's done, and pretty much seeing that he was one of the few people that were responsible for Naofumi's defamation. For those of you who don't know, defamation is basically defamed. Basically, a famous person can stop being famous if somebody uses a defamation. It's kind of hard to explain, but try to find someone smarter than me, alright? Because I'm kind of right now dumb as rocks. But this means that the king has to get some help. The shield hero is now the devil of the shield, and even more people are scared of him. But I don't know what's gonna happen right now, because I'm gonna end this off right here. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. Ah, sheesh. Ah, no. Come on. I said I was never gonna do that again. Oh well. That's who I am, people. A freaking Fallout with a fear. Now, hopefully you guys like it. Soon I'll be talking with Dio and Lasto. Hopefully, we all talk about, what if we were in the Shield Hero universe, and hopefully you guys get to see probably a part 2. Actually getting more into Naofumi's true potential. And, well, that was pretty much it. So, bye.